So I've just come out of the first ayahuasca ceremony, and yeah, what an experience! What an experience! To summarize, we did 1 cup. Because it's the first ceremony, they were trying to gauge dosage for everyone, so it was kind of, we were given on the lower side. So we were all kind of got focused, kept our intentions in our mind, and we were talked through kind of how to go about things and given some good tips on what to do, and they're very thorough, and so it was a very good build up to it, which helped to get in the right frame of mind. So I had my first cup, and nothing really happened on the first one, and I thought, okay, it's a low dose, so you know, pretty much everybody would probably be the same. So yeah, I was just kind of sat there listening to the icaros and hearing other people throw up, basically purging, as it's nicely described. And then one of the guys started to clearly have a very strong trip himself, and was talking quite loudly, and yeah, it was kind of dominating the session, but I was not feeling any effects whatsoever. And you could see it was a real mixed bunch, where I think the majority of people were feeling something, some more than others, but I felt clear as a bell, really. So this went on for a couple of hours. I when we're allowed to leave the maloka to go to the bathroom, and one of the things you hear about is diarrhea, so I was a bit worried about that, so I just kept making sure I didn't shit my pants, basically. So I went to the toilet a few times just to make sure, and whilst I was out there, I was kind of running into people, and at one point they brought out the guy that was making quite a bit of noise, so I helped out a bit with him, and he was fine. They were taking good care of him. And then I went back in, and we were sat there, and then they asked if, this was about the 2-hour point, and they asked if there was a second cup, if anybody wanted to have a second cup. And so, of course, because I hadn't felt anything until that point, I went and had a second cup, and I told them, they asked me, they said, how do you feel? I said, I don't feel anything. So they gave me quite a strong cup then, and that was it. As soon as I drank it, like before I'd even walked back to my mat, I could feel it just kind of hit me. But it wasn't, wasn't any visuals or anything at that point. It just felt like I was kind of melting. So I sat on the bed, and my hands were like melting into the bed a bit, and I just felt really like monged, is the only way I would describe it. I just felt really, I suppose heavily sedated. It felt like stoned. I hadn't purged or thrown up. Most other people around me I could hear had, and I hadn't at all at that point. And I was thinking, I'm not feeling nauseous, I'm not going to throw up. And I think I probably stayed like that for a good hour, and then boom, it hit me. I wanted to throw up. So I just threw up, and I purged heavily, like brought it all up. But it was all good, it was fine. I just brought it up, was done. They took the bucket away, and then that was it. It kicked in then. Full psychedelia, it was amazing. I was just kind of sat there, and every vibrant colour, pattern, image, could be thought of from kind of the classic playbook of ayahuasca, serpents and geometric patterns and, just lots of light, lots of really, really vibrant colours. But it was like it was communicating with me, like the medicine was communicating with me, but not by saying anything, not by necessarily giving any symbols that I was to read, no words. It was just, I could understand what it was telling me. It was like a mixture of intuition, psychic kind of connection. I know that sounds crazy, but just felt as if I knew what was, being told to me. And I think I've felt, quite a bit of nerves and anxiety coming here and coming into this. So, and I was, I think I was very worried that I was going to have some kind of torrid trip where I'd be struggling for hours and hours, and that it would be really hard to deal with. And also, I suppose one of the reasons I've come is to try and work through kind of unnecessary fear, in general in life, and to kind of get back to being positive, like I've pretty much been for a lot of my life, but the fears just creep in, with more responsibility in life, more fears creep in, and anxiety can creep in, and stress and all that stuff, and so I had all that coming into it, but I've been doing such practice over the last few months with different things, as I've mentioned before, meditation and whatnot. I've been really, really like doing my homework. Feels like I've been really like in training, and it came to the fore. It was just like the message I was getting is, you see, you don't need to worry. You've got this. This is fine. Just enjoy it. And that's what I did, and it was just quite euphoric, kind of blissful. And if ever my mind started to turn a little bit, like it can do in life, when things feel, well, for me, when things feel as if they're going really well, I start to worry that there's something negative around the corner, as if it's like inevitable that it will happen. I start to psych myself out, essentially. I do with lots of things, and I always have done in different circumstances. I struggle to kind of stay in myself and embodied. I start to overthink and all that, and that just didn't happen. It was like I was attempting to do that, like it's a natural thing that I do, and it was just saying to me, you don't need to do that, it's all right. And even if you do that, it's still all right. And it just kept giving me this encouragement that it's all okay, it's all going to be good, everything is fine, just stay here, just stay present, stop looking ahead, stop thinking ahead, stop looking into stuff, just stay where you are, sit still, relax, and enjoy. Cheers, guys.
Sleep well.
Good night. And that's how it played out. It just had a good hour or so of just beautiful visions, just calm, encouragement, insights about things. But the general message was just take it in your stride, just relax, and have this approach in general. Try to have this approach in general. Stop overthinking and worrying and fearing stuff. And that's what I asked for. That's what I asked for in my intentions before I went in. That's what I wanted, and on this occasion I got it. So it's given me a lot of confidence. I felt as if I wanted to open my eyes and climb back into the real world, I could. but it was a lot more enjoyable just closing my eyes and just going with it. At one point, there were a lot of serpents, and I started to, afterwards, I started to focus on my heart. I was feeling a lot of love, which was beautiful, and towards the shaman as well, with their beautiful icaros. So, you know, some of them were really shining through for me. So my heart was like really open. But then at one point, my heart kind of became snakes, but it wasn't scary, you know. Like my heart and my chest, it kind of visually, it was still as if I was an observer looking at it from, you know, a pace back, but it kind of turned into snakes kind of going up my body, and that sounds really scary, but it wasn't. It was fine. Everything was fine. It was just really, really nice, warm, comforting, confidence building, anxiety dispersing first ceremony. And I know it won't go like that every time, but that's okay. What it gave me was this understanding of, I do have some semblance of control, and I can let go, which I did. But you know, I was surfing it. It was almost like I could go with it, or if I wanted to step back and do my breathing, I could. And it was like the toolbox that I've developed over the last so many months. I was able to bring that toolkit and use it, and it serves me, and it served me during this, and it's given me confidence, you know. So we'll see what the rest of them bring. I'm sure everyone will be different, but it was a good start, and I'm very grateful. Anyway, that's that for now, all I can remember for the moment. I'm sure other things will drop in over the next few days, but ciao for now.